at Farooq Systems headquarters. You guys get ready. We're going live at 1 p.m. Central. If you've ever had questions about how does Chi BioSilk hair care work, what's the story behind it, who owns this Farooq Systems? Well, don't worry because we have Dr. Farooq Shamy joining us. He is an exceptional person in the hair and beauty industry, an innovator. He's a leader. You guys are going to get to hear so much about him and his story. I'm so excited you guys get to do that today. But we're going to talk some hair, right? Is that what we're doing today? The holiday season's coming up. We know there's so many parties you guys could be going to. Maybe you guys have Chi Lava tools on your Christmas wish list, or you're trying to find a great gift for a friend or a family member, but we have you covered today. Let's talk some hair. What are some great holiday trends that people should be maybe wondering if they're going to a holiday party? What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, the advice, the first of all, they should to use our styling tools and our styling product. Why? Because we have the royal treatment. You know, when we say royal, it means like everything like holidays, weddings, and all this stuff. Yes, it's something like really you can look really beautiful. The hair is more shiny. The hair is more, you know, like you can see that brilliant hair. So, guys, today we had Isabella. So I styled Isabella, who is using the Chi Lava and the Chi Royal treatment, and we make her ready to get Dr. Farooq Shamy to the set today. Please be there. And Dr. Farouk is gonna tell the untold story and talking about all Farooq system and how Chi and BioSilk started. Yes?
Yes, so excited. We'll be doing so many giveaways throughout this show too. So if you guys are wondering, well, how do I get my hands on some Chi Lava tools? Well, what you're going to do is as we're going live at 1 p.m. Central, you're going to be in the comments commenting throughout, and our team will be looking at the comments, picking our giveaway winners. So you want to make sure you tune in for the entire show because you don't want to miss an opportunity to get your hands on these exclusive tools that are really one of a kind. I personally use Chi Lava tools myself, as well as the Royal Hair Treatment, which I have today. I don't leave the house without it. One of my favorite products is actually that shine tool. I use it on the body, on my hair. It's one of my favorites. What did you, what some of the other tips and tricks you can give our viewers for getting some voluminous hair like this?
You know, like to have the voluminous hair, I told you, like we need to use the Chi Lava just to curl it. You know, with our Chi Lava, the heat is gonna stay always stable. So once they're curling the hair or they are straightening the hair, always the heat is stable. So all the hair is taking the same part of heat. So the hair, it's long lasting. So the hair is gonna stay always longer, all day long. You're gonna have that beautiful bouncy curls. And then you have the volume spray, the volume shampoo, and the volume, you know, like line. So you can prepare the hair before. And then when you are finishing it, you have the shine, you know, in the end. It's gonna give, and you see the smell. You
smells like
smell
perfume.
it. It was like perfume, yes?
Yes.
So that stay all day long. Even if you don't wash your hair, so it's gonna stay there, so like a perfume, and always shiny and bouncy.
Yeah. Obviously products play such a big part into having great voluminous hair, but what about hair color? What are some tips that you give, even people who are hairdressers in this industry? What are you telling them are products or color that they have to have in their salons today?
It's, you know, like hairdressers, to being successful, always you need to follow the trend, yes? And what is the trend? The trend is digital. Always we're going, you know, like digital, in our phone, online, or everything. And today, Dr. Farouk is going to talk about his latest innovation, which is the LG Chi Color Master Factory. So this is, we're talking about hair color, unlimited color, whenever color you want, toners, colors, express color.
Wow.
So all in one. It's full package. So it's really very interesting. So I want everyone to stay tuned with Dr. Farouk. He gonna talk how he became with the idea with that color factory, and he gonna talk about the color factory, what can do for the hairdresser, and what is their benefit and the profit from that.
So you definitely recommend maybe every hairstylist having a color master in their salon. Is that something that people who are watching saying, I would like to invest in that, how can they get their hands on one of those for their salon?
Yes, I definitely, you know, I speak to the hairdressers, all of them, that to have the color factory, because they're gonna be really on the top, and this is only in the best salons in the world is gonna be, yes? So I'm gonna keep this secret with Dr. Farooq Shamy because I need him to tell every story, and he talk about all this innovation, about this revolution.
Yeah,
so,
super excited. We're speaking of Chi Lava tools. Do you have a favorite one that you really recommend everyone? Maybe like the starter tool, if they want to start their collection of Chi tools. Do you have a one that you, all of them?
All of them. all of them.
Yeah.
When you say lava, you are, so definitely you are elevating yourself from the ceramic or another tools or the titanium. We like ceramic, we like titaniums, but with the lava, we are on the top. And also, you know, that I want everyone to join us today and to be at 1 p.m. there, because with Dr. Farouk, you're gonna have, he's gonna talk about all these innovations, because only him, he can innovate such great tools, great color factory, great colors, bleach, and everything.
Yeah,
Yes?
such a legend in the hair industry. There are so many
Exactly.
tools that, I mean, growing up myself, the Chi flat iron, which really became such a staple in the hair industry and just constantly leading the way. I mean, everyone knows Chi. It is an iconic brand. It's all over the globe. We're so excited to be able to have Dr. Farooq Shamy in the studio. He's just one of those men that makes such a great impact, really worldwide, in the beauty and innovation world and space. So we're really going to get to be able to speak with him, get to know him a little bit more. Maybe we'll get some advice for entrepreneurs out there, or maybe future hairdressers that are really wanting to know, how can I break into the industry? What do I need to start? We're really going to be able to tap into so many of these questions today. I'm super excited. So back to, you know, holiday trends. If people want, what do you recommend? Like an updo for a nice event at night, or straight hair, bouncy waves?
Depends what they have as an event, yes? Sometimes, you know, like you have an event, you need to go with, if they are wearing like really long dresses, sometimes like small updo, you know, it depends what they are wearing. So I always say, like, if the, you know, like occasion sometimes needs really natural, you know, like bouncy, beautiful hair. Some occasions needs more, you know, like the hairstyle, like up style. So depends the occasion, depends what they are wearing, and depends everything. So they need to follow, yes?
Yes, constantly keeping up with trends.
Exactly.
Where do you find, you know, I guess Instagram, social media really is a great way to make sure that
Exactly.
everyone's staying up to trends. And if you guys are active on social media, obviously you're watching today, but make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at Haircare, Farooq Systems. We're constantly putting out new info about upcoming tools, events like this one, Chi Live. And when we get into our live today, we're going to go over so many questions, and maybe you guys have some possible, you know, ideas for future Chi Live events. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you want from us. And so that's what we're really excited to get into today. We have so many more Chi Live events coming your way in the future. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting the information and knowledge that you guys want. That is key. Definitely.
Yes. We need everyone, you know, to go there to all our, you know, like on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere, just to comment there if they have any question with Dr. Farooq Shamy.
Yes.
So he's going to answer their question. We have the team here, you know, they're going to answer all their questions.
Yeah,
So we
great
are here
tools.
today, like it's really big launching for the Chi Live. Yes, this is going to be continuous all the time. Then always we're going to have really new people there. So we have lots of giveaways. We have Chi Lava tools giving giveaways. So I need everyone to be there really and with us, and really comments and engage with the pages.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
and this is big opportunity to have Dr. Farooq Shamy there, yes?
Yes.
This is big entrepreneur, and he's a legend from our industry. So we need him. We need his motivation. We need him, you know, to give us advices as a young hairdressers, as a such everyone. So this is very big opportunity. Guys, be there, please.
Yes, super excited. Make sure you join us, 1 p.m. Central, giveaways, so much more. But we are going to get into our video. We're getting ready to start the live. Here is a video from Farooq Systems headquarters. Let's take a look. welcome in. My name is Isabella Radovon, and I'm your host all the way live from Houston, Texas. We are at the Farooq Systems headquarters, founder of BioSilk and She Haircare. We have an incredible show for you guys today, filled with so much knowledge, but also giveaways. It's the holiday season. Maybe you want something for yourself or to give as a friend, but we will be giving Chi Lava tools away, and you're probably wondering, I want my hands on those. How do I get a Chi Lava tool? Well, what you guys need to do throughout this live, make sure you're commenting throughout the live. Our team will be looking. I'll be giving away Chi Lava tools, so make sure you guys don't go anywhere. If you leave the live, we don't want you to miss an opportunity to get your hands on these tools. We're really excited today. We have an incredible guest, someone who is phenomenal. I'm so grateful I get to be sitting down with him. He's the one and only Dr. Farooq Shamy. He's the founder and chairman of Farooq Systems. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you. We know you're a busy man. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
Thank you so much, and welcome to Farooq Systems first Chi Live. I really appreciate you being the first host. You look beautiful. Your hair looks beautiful. And glad to really be with you. But we want to be with 150 countries, hopefully, with this Chi Live. What we need is motivating hairdresser, getting hairdresser together, working together. We want what is the most innovative in the professional beauty industry, what's new, what is the trend, who are the leaders. So on this is going to be a mission. This is going to be a platform and stage. I'm starting with you, but we really invited from today, I would like to invite all the leaders, all the innovators of hairdresser. I don't care which company they work for. We all professionals, we all hairdressers. I am so proud to be one of the oldest hairdressers. I'm like 58 years of being a colorist and a color artist, and really I enjoy this profession. I had done my part into innovation, but I want to invite all the other innovators, to get together and expose them. We need to work together worldwide. So we do business in 150 countries, and we have followers in 150 countries. Wow. So we are inviting artists, innovators, motivators, trendsetters from 150 countries. We need to work together and move forward. What is our profession? How can we make it better, more profitable, more respectful, more fun? Okay, yes. We need to have fun, and this is a fun business, really.
And speaking of just who you are in your story, what made you want to start Farooq Systems? What inspired you to do that?
From the beginning, when I chose my profession, if I wanted to be in the hair business, I wanted to be the best hairdresser there is, okay? And really, I've used, all products, and I learned from every company. I taught for many companies, and I learned from every company. And I always worked, how can we improve it better? How can we make it better? Of course, I'd like to say, in '83, I was the champion of United States of America as a colorist, when color was not even in fashion, okay? And styling, I do it with my heart. I love this profession, so much. And I did so much color, that I became allergic to ammonia in hair color. And my doctors, I had a salon in Lafayette, Louisiana at that time, in the 80s, and the 70s and the 80s, actually. And my doctor suggested I leave the profession. I really cried, because I love what I do. I love working, as a hairdresser, as a colorist. It's fun, everything. And I had no choice but to invent hair color without ammonia. And everybody thought I was crazy, and unfortunately I was attacked by other manufacturers that color without ammonia doesn't work. But I'm a hair colorist, and I was doing it in my salon, and it's working and it's lasting. So if it works for one person, it should work for everybody else. And that's really what got me interested, that there is no limits to our products. Like for 100 years we used, hair color with ammonia. only to find out, for me, 20 years ago, that you can do color without ammonia. Okay,
Wow.
so why expose ourselves to harsh and dangerous chemicals
Right.
when we can do it with natural products? Okay,
Wow.
so it came to my mind going back to nature. How can reformulate, and my confidence in other manufacturer became doubtful, So I took the responsibility on myself that if we're going to innovate, it's going to have to come from within, from hairdresser like me, and we have millions of us. We know our profession. I hate to say it, but other manufacturers, they working with chemists, and a chemist never been in a salon or know what the salon needs. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we, the hairdresser, are the one who can motivate and develop and innovate. It's the responsibility on us. Being a hairdresser, really even simple shampoo and conditioner, you need to really study that and know what products, what chemicals are we using, and what are the least harmful, the least harsh, what are the best products to use. That's what people looking for, because hair is the crown of a lady or a man.
Absolutely.
It is the crown.
Yes.
We want it healthy. Beautiful hair is healthy hair, So, I work on that. So that's really my focus. And that's really, what started us, Farooq System, as a hair color company by making a product called Sun Glitz at that time. And it was bleaches in different colors and gave you different tones.
Wow.
And really was inspired by the sun and applied on the hair, where opposite color can cancel each other and toning can happen in various shades and various tone and values without ammonia and with silk and everything like that. So really that what put us on the business. The start of making color, and making lighteners ammonia free. That's we are first in that. And I'm proud to say, in the last 38 years that Farooq System have been in, I have at least 61 patents. So,
Wow.
Lots of innovation,
Constantly
and lots
creating.
of it is chemistry, and lots of it's the tools also, okay?
Yes.
Because as a hairdresser, as a colorist, as a salon owner, as an educator, as an innovator, in the profession, really, I focus. What do we need in the salon, okay? How can we improve every product? Let's say right now in the salon, what is the trend and what is, it's all, highlights, balayage, balayage, in
Right.
different forms, all of that. So bleaching, if we talk about bleach, bleach is really one of the hardest chemicals that are used in the salon. Although now it's the #1 product used in the salon, okay? So we, as Farooq System, we did bleach and shine, if we call it.
Yes.
And I don't want this platform to be a commercial, for Farooq System. I'm just talking about the innovation and the improvement that we added to the profession, and gladly offering it to everybody and for other manufacturers even to copy it. I have no problem with that. But we added different oils, to the bleach, and to really reconstruct the hair while we are bleaching the hair. So we added, olive oil, we added silk, we added proteins, we added moisturizer. I added 8 different, conditioners into the bleach. So we
That's
can bleach
mind-blowing.
hair. Yeah, we can bleach hair and, end up with good results, healthy hair.
Yes.
That's important, really, so that is the #1 thing, and then color really been the same for 100 years. We've been using either liquid or we are using tubes. And I think we're
Right.
tired of that. We need to move on into digital color.
Yeah, constantly innovating is what you guys are really known for.
Yeah, but Farouk system, we have our chemists, and we have our scientists, and you have our industrial engineers and all of that. But, from the beginning, we worked with NASA scientists. We are in Houston. Houston is innovation. Houston
Absolutely.
is, the sky. The sky is the limit.
It is, yeah.
So, when we started, with the chi iron, for example, okay.
Yes,
That was a
everyone
tool,
wants that.
we are with, NASA is really expert with ceramic. And with their help, we were able to market the chi iron, the ceramic hair iron, and became the #1 in the whole world.
I wanted one.
Yeah.
Christmas list, birthday. Please, all I want is a chi flat iron. Everyone wanted it. You were cool if you have it.
So the whole idea was to have an iron that does not scrunch, or burn the hair.
Yes,
And
right.
that was a great success, But, allow me to tell you, ceramic, is good. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not talking against it, but it's not the best.
What's the best?
Okay. After checking all the stones, all the natural minerals of stones and all of that, we came to the conclusion that the highest temperature you can get is a lava.
Ooh, speaking of lava, excuse me, I'm going to pause you for 1 second because, guys, we have our first giveaway winner. I want to say congratulations, Vicky Holt. You are going away with a Chi lava tool. Congratulations. Someone from the Farooq Systems teams will be in contact with you to make sure you get your Chi lava tool. We'll go back to Dr. Farooq Shamy telling us all things about the Chi lava tool, so continue. That I want to hear all about it. So that's when you guys decided that that was the stone.
Allow me to share a story,
Yes.
with you. I was in Amsterdam, doing a sales meeting and education, and at dinner we went together, with with our people, and they asked me to order steak on a stone, on a stone. So I get a block, about like 15-inch by 15-inch, and there was a raw filet mignon with a fork and a knife. And I said, what am I going to do with this? They said, cut the meat, put it on the stone, and start sizzling, and really smell good, everything,
Yeah.
So there was the food, okay? So I asked the waiter, what kind of a stone is this? He said, lava, okay? I said, why lava? He said, we can heat it up to 700 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
And it stays hot for 1 hour.
What?
It came to my mind, really maybe, something there is about this heat. I know about ceramic. I needed to know about lava, So anyway, I bought a stone from him, and we cut it, and we put it in the oven at 700 degrees and blah, 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 and found out of all the stones, that's the only stone that can stay hot for almost an hour.
Wow.
So this means when we are doing hair, it takes one pass. The temperature stays the same. Like if you're doing 400 degrees, Fahrenheit or 420 or whatever, it stays the same temperature. So you do one take only.
Even on
And
hair that's coarse or curly?
It doesn't matter. This
Wow.
is, look, originally it used to be liquid fire. So you got all the minerals. Really, the hair is so smooth, the hair is so shiny, the hair is so beautiful. So lava is what's happening now, okay? Yes, with all respect to ceramic, it's old-fashioned, and you have to do 2, 3 times or 4 times, to get the results. With lava, one take.
One take with the lava. Make sure you guys are continuing to stay on our live comment. Our team is looking at all the comments right now, so you might be our next giveaway winner with the Chi Lava tool. You guys, these are incredible tools. If you don't have one, you have an opportunity to get a free one today by just hanging out with us here live in Farooq Systems in Houston, Texas. And we have so many entrepreneurs and hairdressers watching us live right now. What is some advice that you would give to them?
I'd like to say, beside, the lava now, we are using it for the blow dryers, for the more ions. Millions of ions are produced and the minerals. So it really dries faster, lighter dryers, really, technology is moving every day. And sorry to miss your point, but talking about technology, you know, working with NASA on the tools, now we working on tools also with LG. LG
Wow.
Electronic.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a company called LG Farouk, and we share information. We got the art, they got the software, and that's where we came with the digital color factory machine, you know, that is thousands of it already. You know,
Which is this right behind us.
leaders, hairdressers are already saying that with superior quality of color. It's really, you know, what the hairdresser needs.
How does it work?
It works, you know, like really so simple, okay? It got all the formulation, you know, that you can think of, you know, so there are existing formulation, you know, about over 30,000 different formulas.
Wow.
Like if you have a level 1, how to go to level 3 or 4 or 5, whatever color, you know, you wish, there is a formula that's been accepted, you know, and beautiful. And it's always fresh color. That is one of the things
nice.
we suffer in the salon. Too many colors. And color is really, really simple. If we know the color wheel, we know color.
Right.
If we know how to balance red, yellow, and blue, it is simple color, you know, really. Color is very simple and artistic, you know, it's us, the hairdresser. And the color factory give me that artistic ability of, you know, adding or, you know, taking, customizing my color, customizing. I don't care which line I use, I can make my own colors.
So it makes
So
it easier.
hairdressers, you know, really, you know, we like to individualize our colors.
Right.
Not everybody have like a light brown, the same light brown.
So true.
Okay, and that is the capability of us being able to manipulate that and have a formula. No redo, no nothing. Formula is always perfect. But it's up to you. You can do it manual. I want a light
Wow.
brown. I want to add to this red. I want to take out, like, you know.
And it does
So
it for
it's-
you, the machine.
It does it, you know, for
How
you.
simple.
It's a service.
Nice.
But most important, you know, hairdresser, we hate to keep records. So this machine keeps all our records.
Wow.
And for clients, they can take their picture and they look at it and say, which color do they want? You know, I'll choose out of hundreds of color and say, this is the color, just point and click, it will give you the formula.
Wow.
So a
How did-
simulation mode, or, you know, it's very simple. You know, you can learn how to operate this machine in 5 minutes.
That's
you know.
incredible. What made you want to create that? Did you just feel like
Because-
there was a need for it in the industry?
Because I'm genius.
I know that.
Yeah,
But there must have
okay.
been something that gave you the idea.
I love hairdresser. I want them to do the best color in the world.
You're
you know,
always thinking
and,
about others,
You know,
yes.
the difficulty of hairdressers, you choosing the exact formula, okay?
Yes.
So, yeah, we might be geniuses in doing it, but sometimes we have doubts. Let's share it with the machine, and the machine can, you know, this is a computer that can tell you. This
Right.
is, you
It's the
know,
wave of the future.
artificial intelligence already in hair color.
In
okay?
Houston, Texas, at Farooq Systems.
Yeah, and we're proud that this is,
Yeah.
you know, an American, you know, concept, and it's taken over the whole world. You know, we are selling it in 150 countries, and Europe is more
It's
excited,
incredible.
you know, than anybody else, you know, because we
Yes.
have such great colorists there, you know.
Yeah,
and
you've
in the
innovated
United
so
States, the
much.
same thing, you know. So we working, you know, with so many salons, and they're happy. And, you know, the whole idea, keep improving, keep moving, keep motivating, you know, make the salon services a place where people want to come, you know, really.
Yes.
They want innovation, you know, they want to see something new, they want to see better products, you know. So
Right.
that's our job, you know, and that's why I'm calling on all hairdressers, you know, professionals,
Yes.
join us.
She Live.
Join us.
And speaking of innovation, what is your favorite innovation that you've had up to this date? Is there one that stands out to you?
Well, you know, the most advanced I feel, you know, in is the color factory. You know, the LG Chi color factory, you know, is the latest. But honestly, you know, for the safety of the hairdressers and all of that, my biggest thing, you know, really is inventing ammonia-free hair color.
Yeah.
And replacing ammonia with monoethanolamine, which nobody had thought about it
groundbreaking.
before, you know, which is really simple, you know,
Yeah.
organic, you know, studying, so my favorite, because really that is where the benefit of all hairdresser and clients worldwide is the ammonia free.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, really, I wish I could come out with something that touches everybody's life, every hairdresser life,
Yes.
and, I mean, I don't like negative things, but ammonia is such a negative thing, I mean, a pregnant woman coloring her hair with ammonia could be exposed, really to birth defects, so that's very dangerous, ammonia can cause silicosis or collapse of the lungs as well,
Oh my gosh, I didn't even
long
know that.
exposure, yeah,
Right.
because like when the rules were put out in 1928, how much ammonia to use and all of that, people did not do much color. But now we're
Yes.
looking at salons doing 10, 15 colors at the same time.
Yeah,
Imagine how
absolutely.
much ammonia, so we are against ammonia definitely, and formaldehyde and all of that kind of dangerous stuff
Yeah.
that comes once in a while and it fizzles out, because
Yeah, it's
it
great.
is dangerous, and I warn everybody against those kind of products.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're always thinking of everyone else, and I mean, you have such a big heart, and that's something that's so great about you and Chi and Farooq Systems. And guys, guess what? We have our second giveaway winner in the Edgy Beautician. Congratulations, you have some Chi lava tools coming your way. One of our staff members from Farooq Systems is going to reach out to you so you can get your hands on your new tool. Congratulations. So yeah, I mean, you're constantly innovating and thinking of others too.
The other thing, we were the first, the first to come out with silk.
Yes.
Silk therapy as a serum, was first, and up till now it's, a top seller. Because, instead of using, polyethylene and all of that kind of thing, silk have 19 amino acids that
never
are
knew that.
found in hair, okay? So silk really is the lightest material. We don't want weight on the hair. Silk is, a triangular shape, so it gives us shine. So it's lightweight, shine, and it's proteins. It's proteins, and proteins that we want the hair. It fills in, and you can use it in different micro sizes, that, because positive and negative, hair is negative and silk is positive, and both they unite together, so it fills in the hair and saves the hair, absolutely. So why use anything else? So in any product I use, I always add silk to it.
I love using it. It makes my hair feel, I mean, I have a lot of hair, you guys, and using silk products today earlier, I mean, it's so lightweight, I don't even notice it. And I have so much thick hair. And that's something I personally love using, all those products. I love the royal treatment too, the smell of the royal
You have
treatment.
beautiful hair. I mean, we have two divisions at Farouk System. The professional only division, which sells, mainly bleach and shine, color factory, and color tubes, including like you can color hair with ammonia free and cover gray.
Wow.
10 minutes, 10 minutes, gray coverage.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, absolutely. You
my
can do that.
gosh.
So that really saves us lots of time,
Yes, absolutely.
definitely, the formulation is great, and product.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to improve. How can we do better? So we have that in tubes. We have it in the color factory, and we have the toners, and the color factory, as a hairdresser, you make your own colors. Yes, you have guidelines. You have anybody's color, you can remanufacture it actually with it. But normally you want to customize your own color, and that's what your clients need as hairdressers. And and you can always repeat, because the record is there.
Right. For people who are watching that are hairdressers, own salons, what are some top innovative services? Like, what's the one that you believe every salon needs to have right now?
Definitely hair color.
Yes.
That's where the money is. That's where the art is. And the more color we do, the better colorists will become, and we become more confident in our color application, So, color, 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 color. You want to make money? If I was not a colorist, I wouldn't be talking to you today as Farouk System, the leader in hair color worldwide.
All
so
about the color.
It's all about color. We are a color company, as well as we have our retail lines, as well.
Yes.
But we focus definitely on the hairdresser. That really where our focus. That's where my love, my heart, is in the salon,
Yeah.
in the salon, and with the hairdressers. That's why I want hairdressers like me to join us. Join
Yes,
us,
join us
really.
at She
We
Live.
want to expose you. We want us to lead us. We want to show what the trend is.
Right.
Nobody knows what the trend is in France now,
how
or
would you know that?
Germany, or Austria, or Finland, or in Moscow, or in New York.
Right.
We need to bring us together. Bringing hairdresser together is my aim with this Chi Life.
Yes.
It's not about me. It's not about one person. It's about the beauty professional industry, and we will be exposing that to our clients,
Right.
as well, because
Yeah.
we need clients to see where the beauty business is and look
Yes.
up. It's not I'm just a hairdresser. No, we are artists. We are science. There is art and science and all of that.
Right.
And look how many famous people there are, really,
Right.
who are doing movie stars and making big money with that. And really, we want to work together and share, education.
For people-
Education,
Yeah, for people watching right now,
Yeah.
and guys, don't forget to make sure you're commenting right now in our live for a chance for a Chi Lava tool. But people that are just watching at home and they're like, I really want to know what hair care products from Chi I need to be using on a daily basis at home. What do you recommend for them?
Well, every hair is, different. That depends on the consultant of the hairdresser. That's why the royal treatment is for the professional hairdresser only and professional recommendation.
Okay.
And it's going to be, different from one person to the other. Are you treating your color? Are you building a volume? Are you lacking moisture? Are you just toning? It depends. So it's hard to say, oh, this is the product you use. But definitely you need a good shampoo. You need a good conditioner. You need a nice serum, silk serum, whatever, it is. You need hairspray. You need an iron. You need a blow dryer. You need brushes.
Yeah.
These are essentials, that, everybody needs.
Yeah,
And the
products.
better the quality, and the better the hair is going to be.
Yeah, products are key. And guys, we have another giveaway winner in. Congratulations, Hair by Garrett. You are a giveaway winner. You're going home with a Chi Lava tool. Congratulations. We have someone from Farooq Systems that will be reaching out to you, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, products are key for great hair, and that's what we were just talking about. Just saying
Yeah.
that's really the success in a good, bouncy wave, or maybe you want more of a blowout style, right? Products.
Only your hairdresser can tell for sure what you need.
Okay.
So I really recommend, a hairdresser. It's our duty, actually. Whenever we do anybody's color, hair, or relaxer, whatever we do, we need to recommend the right product. Even for a haircut, you need to recommend the kind of shampoo. Is it, what they is lacking? Is it fine, silky hair? Does it need more volume? Is it lacking moisture? What is it you need? Only your hairdresser can tell for sure.
Right.
And the hairdresser can make money retailing. That's very important. You don't go to a doctor and tell them I'll buy the medicine. Okay.
Could you imagine that?
So
That'd be
we,
funny.
as professionals, our work is not finished unless we tell them. You need to recommend. Which product.
Yes.
Take home product, and how to take care of your hair at home to
Right.
keep looking professional and healthy and beautiful, just like your hair.
Thank
Okay.
you. All Chi
So
products.
now, you have the royal treatment, I think,
Yes,
that. You
yes.
got the bleach and shine, you got the color factory, results, you got all the hairspray and all that. And it's all made in Houston. That's what
Yes.
I am very proud, to be a good citizen of the great state of Texas.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
everything is made in Texas.
Which we
Our
love.
facilities here, over 1.5 million square feet of facilities.
Yes,
And,
which I
you know,
love that.
we bring a lot to the economy of Houston, and we're proud of that, standing together.
Yes.
Houston is a great city. Texas is a great state.
Yes.
United States is a wonderful country. And the whole world is beautiful when we work together as hairdressers to bring in love and peace among us, you know, really, definitely.
I love it. And just, I'm going to recap with you guys our giveaway winners. If you've been in the live comments, you know Vicky Holt was one of our winners, the Edgy Beautician, and Hair by Garrett. You guys are our giveaway winners. So excited for you guys to get your hands on some Chi Lava tools. We're so excited too that you guys have been joining us for today. If there are any ideas that you guys have or want to see something in particular in the future for our Chi live events, please make sure that you guys send us a DM. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you guys want to see. This is about knowledge and bringing everyone together. So we really want your feedback of what you guys want to see with everybody. It's something that's very important to us. And just kind of one last question I have for you, just circling back. So many people really look up to you in so many different ways, but what is some advice that you can give to some salon owners and hairdressers right now in the industry?
You know, I think, you know, hairdresser, when they chose hairdressing, you know, it's because they love people. If you don't love people, you cannot be a hairdresser. So my advice, you know, recommend the best products. You know, the best products always repeat business. Cheap stuff and not good enough does not work, you know. So that is, you know, just an initial, you know, sharing advice, you know, because we need to make money, you know, hairdressers, you know, and hairdresser can make a lot by doing their job and not going beyond, you know, recommendation. All what I'm saying, our clients come, sit in our chair, need to communicate with them, understand them, and recommend what kind of color or relaxer and what shampoo and what conditioner and all of that. That's why we are professional. We're not, you know, just, you know, next. You know,
Right.
really need to spend time with our clients and do the very best we can. You know, that always do your best. Always you do best, the best style. Don't rush the client. Don't really just use your time, you know, for talking about yourself, communication, the ladies respect, and make, you know, let her know that you know what you're talking about. That is so important, you know, because we don't want to be, oh, he's a hairdresser. No, we are professional ones. We are professional. So my advice, use your professional capabilities, you know, and advice to the client. This is so important, so important. And tell your clients to bring their friends. Bring your
Yes,
friends,
right.
always. So, you know, through this, you know, and, you know, as, I'll repeat what you just said, you know, really, I want from people watching us to see what do they recommend, what do they want to see. You know, the initial and this mission of this is to get hairdressers together, the innovator, the leaders. So who are the leaders? If you are a leader, call us, okay? You know, it is, you know, really easy to get in touch with us, you know, at any time. You know, so call us, you know, text us, let us know who you want, and let us know if you are a leader, if you are innovative, if you came with a new haircut, if you came with a new color, you came with, you know, a new tool. You know, we really like to share that with everybody, and it'd be great for you. It's a great exposure for everybody. But unity of the hairdresser is power. Unity is power. If we work together, you know, from various companies, various manufacturers, and they are welcome to show what's new and what improvement they have done, our platform is open for equal opportunity for everybody.
Which is incredible. It's so exciting to be here at Farooq Systems. There are just so many different facets to this company, and getting to hear about you and your story. I mean, where do you get all your ideas from when you're thinking about creating new products? How do you come up with those
it's
ideas?
the love of the profession, you know, it's the love of the profession. How can we do better, you know? And Farooq Systems, we're a company of hairdressers, you know, for hairdresser. So it's easy. I turn left or right, you know, I'm talking to hairdresser. I feel at home all the time, you know, and I never get tired of what I'm doing. When you love what you do, it never, you know, there's no stop there, you know, so we keep going. And it's excitement.
It is.
It's a great future for hairdressers.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think everyone, if you're watching this live, you should be so excited. I'm extremely honored and grateful that you took some time out of your busy schedule to come sit down with me, talk to our wonderful live viewers. We're so happy that you came. We got to learn a little bit about you and more knowledge about the industry. So thank you so much. And guys, like I said, if you want to see more from Chi live and you have some ideas, please make sure you send us a DM. We really want to hear from you. It's really important to get your feedback. Thank you guys for staying in the comments and staying with us this Monday afternoon. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next time live from Farooq Systems in Houston, Texas. This is Chi Live with Dr. Farooq Shamy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.